Okay, everybody here? Anybody missing? Yeah, Nate, none of you stops. Okay, so let's take a look at our objective one more time. And our current objective is I will be able to efficiently structure in writing and conduct laboratory experiments in a timely and accurate manner based on our classroom activities. And all you need in your planner is structure and conduct laboratory experiments, which you can abbreviate as Lab EXP. Okay, because we need to know how to measure or how to do science. So, we've done this twice before. Today you're going to do it all on your own though. You're going to work on your own. I'm not going anywhere, I'll be here, but if you need help, raise your hand, I'll be walking around. But today, and based on, I'm going to collect these, and based on how we're doing, we'll see how ready we are to go back into the lab. So, first thing is you have 30 seconds to get with your lab partner, pick a partner, and then push your desks together. Yeah, take your stuff. You're going to need your notebooks now. Just take your stuff with you. I think, let's see, with Gail's out, right, and Nate was out, so I think we have an odd number. So there may be one group of 3. Okay, 10 seconds. 5, 4, here we go. Now, okay, so you can should use your, anything that we've handed out so far. You have all of them. So you have the definitions that you need. How about just sitting right here? No, there's already one group of 3, so everybody else should be in 2s. Let's go. Okay, so you have your definitions. You have the basketball example that we went through that they kind of did for you. You have the class party one that we did together. And today you're going to do the stain game on your own. So take them and pass them back. Make sure everybody has one. As soon as you have one, first thing I would do is read through it, obviously, and then the back is the same format that we've been using. So you should be able to get started quickly and work through it on your own. Pass them around. Everybody have one? You guys get one back here yet? Who still needs one? Andrea, work up front. Take your stuff. Okay, everybody has a handout. Now I'm going to collect these. First thing, okay, your name, on top, first and last name, and then your partner's first and last name. We had a little trouble in the first hour. About three-quarters of the papers came back with only one name on them. So I was not happy, and they were not happy. They will be less happy when they get their grades. All right, look up here, one thing to save you some time. On the back where it says data and results, right? Data and results, you can write C chart, okay? So you don't have to copy that chart over from the front. Just put down C, S-E-E, but it's a C chart, all right? That way you don't have to copy that chart over, which would be time consuming and not all that beneficial. All right, so listen. Also, remember that when you work with a lab partner, I should basically see the same thing on both your papers. Right? That's not cheating, that's not doing anything wrong. You're working together as partners, so it's fine to put the same thing down. If you want to put it down word for word, that's fine too. Should be underlining or highlighting or circling, whatever it is you want to do. And you shouldn't be working on the back till you finish reading the front. What's the hypothesis? It's an educated guess. So, no, would be, what is she trying to do? Okay, and what is she's getting all these suggestions, right? So, what would the educated guess be? There you go. Yeah. I don't want anybody to go down the wrong road. So, quickly, raise your hand. Do not shout out. What's the problem here? Jordo? Yeah, I mean the problem's pretty obvious, right? She got ketchup on her sweater. Okay? So, what is a hypothesis, first of all? Everybody can answer that as in a group. What's a hypothesis? Educated guess, right? And how do we phrase that hypothesis? What's the three words that we should have in there? First one is if. What's the next two? If blank. Huh? No. Remember, what's the structure that we use for a hypothesis? State a hypothesis. If blank. Well, I know you remember this. And now everybody, because that camera's on, everybody's afraid to raise their hand. If what's the next? So if we do such and such, what's the next word? Then. Okay, there you go. Now it's coming back to you. If then, and what's the next? If then, and then what's the third one? So if we do this, then that will happen because. Okay? So it's if then because. So if you're my age, you could have quit after if then. But your age has to do if then because. Alright, so remember that your hypothesis is an educated guess, So in this case, if we do something, then what will happen? The stain will be removed, okay? Because whatever we did takes out stains. All right, keep going. Asphalt experiment proves every one of these has that same misprint, so obviously we're talking about Melody's sweater here and not the basketball experiment when you get to the end there.
I think she had a question.
Is your question?
Is it our hypothesis or their hypothesis?
Your hypothesis. You should. What's your hypothesis? If we what? If we try one of these. Yeah. Then the stain will come out because whatever that stuff is, takes catch about it, stains out. Yeah, right. This is how you're actually going to do it. This is what you're testing. This is how you're going to test. Okay? Experimental design. This is what you're testing. You got right, salt, shampoo, hairspray, and how you want to do it is actually how you're actually going to physically do it. So you're going to take 3 or 4 pieces of cloth and actually rub them with this stuff. She describes it on the other side. So that's how you actually are going to physically do an experiment. I'll be right there. Nah, yeah, you can put that. What's the control? Is that the one we're going to Is that the one? What's the only one that's not going to change? No. Which one is it going to? Okay, so nothing. Okay. Yeah. That's how you're actually going to do it. Okay. So what you're going to test is the 4 ingredients or the 3 ingredients, right? Okay. This is how you're actually going to do it. So you're going to rub shampoo with the stain, see what happens. You're going to rub salt with the stain. It's how you're actually physically going to do it. Just put, rub the ingredients into the stain, see what happens. Okay, but that's how you're physically. Okay, okay, so what's the only thing that changes? Yeah, so the ingredient that we're going to use. Okay, so good. Which one is it? Okay. So if we do what? What's the first thing we want to do? Right, so if we rub test the ingredients, then the stain will be removed So your hypothesis is your educated guess. You can put if we rub shampoo in the stain, then the stain disappears. You're not just guessing, you kind of have an edge. It's not just a wild guess. You think about it, right? And obviously, what we're thinking about here is that if we rub the right ingredient into the stain, if we rub the right ingredient into the sweater, then the catch will disappear because that ingredient. Okay. the South State. So you don't have to say exactly the way I said it, but something along those lines. Actually, what's the only thing that's changing here? What's the only thing we're changing? The ingredient, right? Okay, so that's actually a variable. Now what you have is not really wrong, okay, but it's only going to be cotton cloth. So cotton cloth is always going to be the same, the ketchup's always going to be the same. The only thing that's going to change is what you try to use to remove the stain. Okay. Here you can just put, when you analyze that, you can say that your shampoo is correct when you got all the stain. You can make it real simple. Obviously, yeah, or you can just copy, not the chart, you can just put, okay, my data shows that nothing in soap don't work. Hairspray might work, but some shampoos doesn't. Right. Right. Hold on 1 second. So I didn't agree with what they said. I can't remember what he said. Okay. So if you were okay, so remember we talked about basketball position before. What would have been, if this happened to you, what would you have tried to do to get the catch out? Would you have used all? Okay, well let's say would you use shampoo or would you use something else? Wouldn't you still get detergent? So what the reevaluation here is what they're saying, what they're asking you is there a better way to do this all together, different better way to do this so that we can watch it? Yeah, we just why would you just go get some pour some Tide something kind of detergent. Okay, so that would be your evaluation. Just like with the basketball, why wouldn't you just move this? Just totally stand someplace else? So you're doing sort of it's sort of so simple and logical that you might not even think about trying to catch up with you. If you can catch up when you're sweating, what do you do? Move it all this nonsense, just go get some detergent, hope it comes out. Alright? Again, in the discussion, you said we sat down as a team. That's all that is. We just sat down and talked about the experiment. It's not a big, remember when we first talked about this, it's not a big fancy. Our partner and our teacher, or whatever, we sat down, talked about what we did, what we saw, what happened, what didn't happen, and we just talked about it. Some people got further than others, that's okay. More concerned of how well you did with what you did than how far you got. So, what's the problem? Raise your hand, don't shout out please. What's the problem? It's pretty simple.
There's a ketchup stain.
Yeah, she's got to get a ketchup, she's got ketchup on her sweater, she needs to get it out. So, nothing too... Okay, so what's the hypothesis? Okay, go ahead, sir. You want to help me out, Zach?
Doesn't got one. I didn't get it. It's good.
Alright, somebody else wanna help us out with with their hypothesis? Go ahead.
Melody is gonna use shampoo to straighten out.
Okay. Okay, now remember with the hypothesis, and this is one of the great things about science. It doesn't really matter if we're right or wrong. It only matters that we find out if we're right or wrong. So if we have a hypothesis and our hypothesis turns out to be completely wrong, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. And in fact, a lot of times being wrong can be a great thing because, for instance, we've talked about before, if you're developing new drugs and they don't work, it's better to be wrong, okay, than just, send them out to the public and have people getting sick or possibly dying. So that's the great thing about science. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, as long as you do it the right way. It's just as important, a lot of times more important to be wrong than it is to be right. Although that's contrary to what we all want to be. Okay, so one of the hypothesis is if I use one of the four stain removers, then my sweater will get clean, will become clean because that stain remover lifts ketchup out of cotton. So something along those lines. It doesn't have to be exactly that. You can state it different ways, but that's fine. All right, how about the what? What? Who had, Ariane?
Melody puts up four pieces of cotton and she tries
Okay. So 4 kinds of stain remover for getting out the spot. All right. Okay, now some people had a little confusion between the what and the design. What do we mean by design? What's the design of the experiment?
how you do the experiment.
Yeah, how we're actually just going to do it, okay? How we're physically going to actually perform the experiment, the instructions. Okay, first we'll pour ketchup on cotton, right? Then we'll pour whatever salt on top of it for 6 minutes, and then we'll rinse it out, and then we will observe the results. Okay, so we covered the what and the design. Okay, and in this case, it was pretty specific. We covered the design. All right, what's the control? What's the control in this experiment? What was the control? The thing that is never going to, or the thing that can never change? Sierra?
The stain on the cotton.
Okay, yeah, the stain, the ketchup has to be on the stain. All right, so what are the variables then?
What they're using to take off the
Right, the three ingredients, the hairspray, the shampoo, and the salt. That's the only thing we're going to change, right? The ketchup's always going to be the same, the cotton is always going to be the same. They're never going to change. Okay, collected, so how did Melody collect this data after she ran her experiment? How did she do it? What'd she do? Yeah, she just made up a chart. Okay, she just made up a chart. No problem. Charted out what happened. And her chart was small, it looked like this. Okay, the data and the results. What I told you for data and results to save time, so is you can just write C chart. Okay, so that way you didn't have to copy this chart over. Okay, and what is the analysis? How many people got that far? I know some did. Okay, what's the analysis? Yeah.
I ran her.
Hmm?
I think
Oh, no. What'd she come up with?
Only that shampoo.
Yeah, okay. Her analysis, her chart shows that only the shampoo works. Now, let's stop here for a minute. Obviously, there's 4 options. Why do you think the shampoo did work? Why do you think, just think about it, it's not part of the experiment. Why did the shampoo work?
Cause it's used to clean
Yeah, what is shampoo basically?
soap.
It's a form of soap, right? And what is detergent? You know, like Tide. It's a form of soap. So that's why the shampoo worked. Okay, so we know that the shampoo worked, right? And what's it say? The hairspray worked second best and the other 2 didn't work at all. Are we surprised that nothing didn't, when she did nothing, that didn't work?
Yes.
Are we surprised by the fact, okay, when she just stared at it, nothing happened? Okay. The discussion. All right, the discussion is, there was some question about that. Melody is just going to wash her coat after she treats the spot with shampoo. We're just gonna sit around and talk about it. We're gonna analyze our data, we're gonna talk about it, what we could have done better, what worked, what didn't work. It's a discussion. All right, reevaluation. How many people got the reevaluation? I know some people did. Raise your hand if you got the reevaluation. Okay, and what did we reevaluate? What would you have done differently?
Mom said that they should try to detergent.
Right, Melody's mom says, why didn't you just go get some detergent? Okay, so if we think back to the basketball example, the thing that we had reevaluated, if you remember, was just move his position on the court. Maybe he just can't shoot from that spot, he needs to be in a different spot. Here, it seems silly, I know, but if you got ketchup on your sweater, what would be the first thing you would do? Put it in the washing machine or go get some detergent and put the detergent right on it. Or some of those stain away things or whatever they are. All right. Okay, error analysis. Okay, the error analysis that the book gives is what? What would you think we should have, one of the things that might have been an error that we did? We just talked about reevaluation. Angel, what do you think we should have, what do you think our error analysis should have been here? Yeah, our detergent at least should have been one of our choices. Okay, that we should have at least had detergent as one of our choices. And I don't think anybody got to additional reevaluation items, and there's a whole lot of answers that are correct. Did you get that far?
To air analysis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Wait, did it make sense? It didn't make sense to put salt?
Yeah, I mean, you can, when you get to that stage, there's no really wrong or right answers. It's everybody's opinion at that point, and that got us there. All right, so I need somebody will quickly pass these around and collect them. Let's go. Get it. Let me get this side of the room. Sam. Make sure your name and first and last name and your partner's first and last name is on there. Do the best you can with the spelling of your partner's name. Nope. More concerned with how well you answered the questions you did answer than how far you got. We'll get further every time we do this because we'll get faster at it. Okay, while they're doing that, let's get in points position. You need to have your planner out. Thank you. You need to have your planner out so that you can record your points. And as anybody here two-step at lunch or recess? Did anybody here two-step at lunch or recess? Okay, good. Glad to hear it. So it's 40 points for second period. Okay, we'll start at the top. I don't expect to hear anybody voice but the person calling their points. Bella. Matt? Matt? Where's Matt? Anybody know what happened to Matt?
No. I think he was a nurse.
Is he at lunch?
He loves money.
I thought I saw him. Not listed, okay.
Backpack was right there.
Backpack's here?
There's some, I think he was a nurse or something.
Okay. All right, here we go. Elena, she's absent. And Ariana. Abomayo. Monahan. Albert. Natalie. Isaiah, he's outside. Angel. Devonay. Mariah. Sebastian. Zach, he's outside. Shazam. Julius, he's an EP. Harley. Daniela. Raphael. Ernesto. Juan. Giovanni. Sierra. Adriel. Eduardo. Guillermo. Marissa. Juan. Asia. Oh, she's in EP, sorry. Dominic. Nathan. Serena. All right, we're running a little behind, a little late here, so let's right over to Mr. Davis' class.